Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Everybody, welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Thursday at noon. We're glad that you've joined us wherever it is that you're joining us here today. For your lunch hour, Brett and Faith here with you. Our program brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation.
In Cincy Green, for air that's cool and clean, call on Cincy Green.
And again, you and I both are extremely happy to be doing a show where we actually have something tangible to talk about. So something new. I know you and I had that discussion yesterday riding to practice, and I think we all had kind of hit a wall, and we talked to Jason and, you know, everybody that covers Auburn, and it's like, God, this couldn't have gotten here fast enough. And so we were at the complex yesterday, and we're going to talk about that. And you and I put out a little snippet after we left the press conference, and I know I've had a lot of texts, people saying they appreciate us doing that and kind of giving our take on that. We'll do that a little bit more in depth here today at lunch, kind of give our take on what we saw. And then we went back at 3:30, and had about an hour there at practice. And, you know, Coach Freeze is good about that. Remember back in spring, you know, the media window was scheduled to be maybe 20 minutes, 25, and he's like, hey, everybody can stay as long as you don't video anything. And, you know, it's just kind of laid back. And we talked to some of the other people that cover Auburn, that cover Alabama and some of the other schools, and they said they love coming to Auburn and covering it because it's more of a laid back atmosphere.
Yeah, I just think that's a good communication between the staff and the media and the relationships that you build. But yeah, it's a great thing to have, it being a pretty tranquil environment where it's not a million steps to even get through the door and all that kind of stuff, especially with how the coaches are so they just converse a lot more with media, which is great. And that doesn't happen, you know, at a lot of other schools.
And it was hot, very, very hot this afternoon. And it felt good to get over in the shade a little bit, but the players, you know, had to go full speed out there. And again, some of the
we were talking about some of the guys that were helping them.
The trainers. They're like the ball guys and stuff, man. I'm like,
they were running two of them back and forth. Oh my gosh.
And it was like, I think it was like 110 out there on the field.
It was so hot.
And they were running those routes. And I know we were kind of over there laughing. I'm like, man, those poor guys are just getting killed over there. And they kind of paused, and they were both putting their hands on their hips. And it's like, man, don't be one of the trainers in the wide receiver room.
There's got to be a fitness test that you have to take and pass. Like, imagine the pacer test.
Right. Hey, one of those guys actually had some wheels. I was impressed. Jackson Arnold cut loose of a pass, and, man, he ran the thing down. I'm like, dang, dude, that's pretty impressive. Is he trying to find his way on the field for the team? He's not a ball boy anymore. He's going to be a walk-on football player for Auburn. So let's start, Faith, with the press conference this morning. And, you know, the first thing, Coach Freeze kind of gave a little opening statement. It was about 2 or 3 minutes. And then really for 27 minutes, it was answering questions from all of us. I think maybe you had one of the best questions. I know I'm biased, but thought you had one of the best questions because you asked Coach Freeze how he was feeling. And again, I think I said it in our little review after the press conference yesterday morning. I said, hey, he's the bus driver. How is he feeling? You know, this guy has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. This is not some small, you know, diagnosis. This is serious. And, you know, I know he's been very, you know, passive about talking about it. And saying that they feel like they've got everything under control and all that. But, man, when you're undergoing stuff like that, sometimes it can take it out of you. And I thought you did a really good job. CBS thought so much of it. They pushed it out on their notifications. And so I'm glad to hear that he said that he doesn't feel sick.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to hear that he's feeling, the most energized he's felt going into a fall camp. Also, just the best he's felt in a really long time, or ever maybe. I mean,
Right.
I can't imagine at that age and going through all those things. I think that shows a lot of encouragement to the guys and positive energy to push through everything. And just because you have something that is supposed to hold you back doesn't mean it has to. And he always gives good credit to his doctors and how well they take care of him, and how his wife has him on some supplements and probiotics and all the good stuff that the women are good for. So yeah, I mean, I think it was great to hear, how he's feeling. And like you said, it's important that the one in control of everything is feeling up to par to actually let everything happen.
Right. And be the guy that can do what he needs to do and be out there so everybody can see that he's full strength. So I thought you did a great job there. And, in the opening part of his press conference, we'll start, he thinks that the chemistry in the building is really good. This is his quote, said, "Excited about what I see in the chemistry in the building. Obviously, hope we can have physical camp and stay safe." And he said, "That's a challenge. You can't win in this league without physical football. So you have to have that." He said, "We're going to pray that we can stay healthy as we go through it." As we know, we had a bunch of guys out in the spring that were either limited or just out completely. And so when you look at this going into fall, we're about as healthy, I think, as you can get. There's some things that little nicks and knacks. I know Jeremiah Cobb was in a yellow jersey because of a finger injury. I think he broke a finger. Is that right?
That's what I heard Kirk Johnson say. So
yeah. And then I also remember somebody saying it at the complex too. They felt like he had like a little brace on his finger, but he was out there participating. And I think who else was it that was out? There was a couple. Champ Anthony was limited. He didn't have a yellow jersey on, but he's still limited. But I mean, he's in good shape. So I mean, really not a lot to talk about. I mean, we didn't see much Keldrick Falk in the spring. We didn't see much of of Xavier Chaplin. So it's good to see those guys back. And man, we'll go through some weights here in a minute, some gains and some losses. It's always neat to see who maybe has put on some weight and some guys that needed to lose weight. Did they do that? But overall, going into fall camp, this is a healthy team from top to bottom, with the exception of a couple of little nicks and, bumps and bruises.
Yeah, it's good to hear. I feel like we hear every single year about the chemistry and how it's grown and really developed. Last year I remember really hearing it from Keldrick on the defensive side, and they were really young last year, especially with a lot of them being freshmen last year. And so I remember him talking just about how important it was off the field for their bond and friendships to grow that way. So hearing this year that the chemistry is good is not really a shocker for me, but it's also always a good thing to know that, you can count on them on it and off the field, but you definitely don't want any animosity inside of the locker room.
Well, I think one thing that we haven't talked about really at all after spring and through the summer is reflecting back that we didn't see a lot of people get in the portal after a ho-hum season, and after a season where you're coming off 4 consecutive losing seasons, a lot of these guys have been here through this duration. It would have been easy for some of them to say, look, I'm going to jump in the portal. I'm going to go check and see what I can get somewhere else. And, Auburn did lose a few, but for the most part, the key players stayed. I mean, you didn't really lose any guys that I felt like were just going to be detrimental if you lost them. And most of your nucleus and core of those young guys said, look, I like it here. We didn't have the results, but we know what we got to do to get better, and we know what we got to do to correct all that. So I love that. That really kind of speaks volumes for what you just said about the chemistry. I think the people here and the players here are glad to be here.
I think so too. And I think that there's a lot of trust in the coaching staff. And I know I've said that a lot, but I do think that the trust that the players and coaches have developed throughout the past, couple of years, that especially Coach Freeze has been there for, and, trusting in, he liked to use the word expected of,
right.
And having a lot of these guys for the past 3, 2, maybe their first year, but it looks that this is the team that is expected of the most. Right.
I think so. And, that word expectant, kind of the theme of the, I guess, is that what they're going to go with? They didn't really say they were going to use that, but it's kind of felt
I think it was something that a lot of the guys said, where it kind of developed into their theme and what the camp revolved around, or is revolving around this year. Right. So, yeah, I mean, going into year 3 for Coach Freeze, I think he sees a lot of positivity in this locker room and in the building. And, it's easy to look at some guys that came in and, I mean, like a Tall. I mean, Tall right now is probably second team. He probably felt like he was going to be a starter and not projected to be. Now, is he going to play? Yeah, he's going to play. And, Coach Freeze even talked about him being one of those, like in the top 6 linemen, all being projected to go to the NFL. So when you got that kind of depth, you feel really good about your situation. And I think that's a really, really good place to start. But we're going to go ahead and take our first break here on the show. Again, we're just getting started here on the Thursday edition of Auburn Blitz. So don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
About an hour ago, Theo airballed the game-winning shot. But with the Zaxby Sauce Boss box, he's dunking all over these fools.
Welcome to Dunk City. I'm the mayor and the sheriff.
Who's got the sauce?
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell. There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Visit our new locations in Gadsden and Oxford today.
Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business. With family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best-kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take to the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $13,000 off MSRP. New 2026 Chevy Equinox with all-around versatility and affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the show today, and our program brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores with 9 locations in Central Alabama for all your home building supply needs. Go check them out. We got one right there in Auburn, and a lot of people are using that. I think your parents are using Russell Do It Center for their new house build, right, Faith?
They are.
You went out to the site the other day, and there was the Russell Do It Center. You know, I guess the wall, the thing that they put up. So
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I saw it and I was like, Brett,
there you go.
I wouldn't believe it.
Russell Do It Center. So go check them out. Also, J. Smith Construction and Excavation. If you need a lot cleared or you need site prep work done, you need a lot of dirt moved, J. Smith Construction is the one to do it. No job is too big or too small, commercial, residential. They handle all of that. So check them out. And
Sensigreen, for air that's cool and clean, call on Sensigreen. They'll save you thousands of dollars on the installation process of a carrier unit. It's so hot. And you want to stay cool, but also save thousands of dollars. And who better to do it with than Sensigreen?
Of course, my truck is black, but you and I get in the truck leaving the complex 108 degrees. 108 degrees. So
it was hot, that's for sure.
Hey, look, black vehicles look really good, but in the summer in Alabama, they don't feel real good.
With black interior.
No, it's about as brutally hot as you can get. So it's a hot box for sure. But we appreciate all our partners out there, and we couldn't do the show without them. All right, some more info on the press conference yesterday, talking about Jackson Arnold, and this is what he had to say. He said, I think he's in a good spot. We obviously had a ton of walkthroughs throughout the summer. He said, we had one last night, watched it this morning. He was 100% in setting the protections and accuracy. The only thing I'm probably not real clear on right now, and we talked about it last night, he and I on the field, is knowing you're not in a game plan situation when you're in walkthroughs. And he mentioned that, Faith, kind of looking at him, and when he builds that, feels like he's confident enough to say, all right, you're free. You can look over and you see Cam, he's only got man coverage, and he kind of gives that signal as free. He can make a decision on third down if he wants to go and challenge on the outside, or if he looks at him and says, no, we need to be a little bit more safe and be a little bit more of a conservative play to try to get a first down to move the chain. So he said they haven't been around each other long enough to get that going, but he said that'll come through fall practice, and as they get into the season, they'll be able to read kind of each other's thoughts and stuff, and that's key. Faith, you're the field general out there as the quarterback, and I think nobody is second guessing Jackson Arnold's ability. You and I watched him throw yesterday. Very impressive. I thought on the run, moving out of the pocket, being able to step back, throw the ball downfield, the intermediate routes. He's got all that, but in game time situation where you're trying to drive down to win a game, is he on the same page with his head coach?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of disconnect maybe last year with what the situation, whatever it was last year. And, you know, just being around and talking to a lot of the other media guys and just hearing that I think this is going to be the year that the communication and just everybody is on more of the same page, which is always a good thing. But especially in just the past year, 2 years, we didn't see a lot of that. And it was really hard because when things got rolling in a positive direction and then, you know, things just really fell apart. I think you could see some of the disconnects, and I think it's going to be really important this year for them to work and have that relationship together. But what did you see from Jackson Arnold today that either shocked you or was an improvement? What did you see?
You know, we saw him through spring, and to be honest with you, you know, I like his level of comfort back there. I know you're just going through some drills and what we were able to see, but you could tell he was the starting quarterback in that group. Like Deuce Knight looks great and all, but you can tell he's the alpha dog in the room, and that's a room full of good quarterbacks. And you know, I think one of the things that Hugh Freeze said he wants to make sure happens is that he goes into the season with a quarterback with his confidence. You know, you got to think Jackson Arnold's coming off a year last year that it was shaky. He got benched. You know, he came back. He won some big games toward the end, but then he ends up making the decision to transfer out of Oklahoma. And even at media days, you know, somebody asked him that question, you know, do you doubt yourself? I think you just got to get out there and prove to yourself that, look, I'm still the same guy I was 2 years ago. I've just got to be able to come out here and show everybody. And, you know, Coach Freeze was asked a question about, did he tell DJ Durkin to lay off Jackson Arnold a little bit? And he said, yeah, I did. He said, because he said, I think it's very key that he get in a flow and get some confidence before they really start kind of getting after it. And I think that's huge. I mean, he said, you know, I used to go tempo, and I was proud if we had 95 plays a game and scored a bunch of points. That's the way I started as an OC and carried that over from my days at Lambert, Arkansas State, and beginning of the Ole Miss. But he said, then you start kind of finding out maybe if I would have managed the clock a little bit differently, we would have won another game or two. And then he says, you know, I also used to be very adamant the number one priority of practice is for our quarterback to leave that field confident. He said, I'm going back to that this year. And he said DJ Durkin's been awesome in allowing him to have that respect and to understand that, hey, look, you got a great defense, but if our quarterback can't perform and he didn't have the confidence to lead this team, it ain't going to make a hill of beans.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, we're coming up on our next break here in a minute, but when we come back from that, Hugh touched on Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight in the situations, you know, that they might be better involved in, or maybe situational times that they are going to maybe be in there. So I think that's something that a lot of people really haven't heard too much on Ashton Daniels.
Right.
So,
I'll let you kind of elaborate on that when we come back. We'll go ahead, take another break here on the show. Nobody go anywhere. We got a lot more coming your way right after this.
For air that's cool and clean, call Senza Green. For air that's cool and clean, you care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Turn to the experts at Senza Green and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, you care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Runner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We are your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event. From tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, halfway through our show here on this Thursday. And that means it's time for Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. And unfortunately, we were supposed to be at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, but they had Kathy's husband a little under the weather, and they had to make a trip. So we're going to reschedule that. I know a lot of you out there were going, I thought they were supposed to be at Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine today. We were, and as disappointed as we are not to be there, we will be there hopefully in a few weeks as we get closer to the start of the season. But we wish Kathy's husband, a speedy recovery. Hope he gets to feeling better. But you can still go to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. We don't have to be there. You can go check out all the great food. Jeff will still be back there cutting up all the steaks and pork chops and the ribs and everything that they got. And they still got the great wine selection. So, Faith, I know it's like next to your most favorite place on earth in Auburn. So, go check it out.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I had a few twice bakes this past weekend, had some hamburgers from there.
You sent that text, and I'm like, man, like, good Lord.
You just can never go wrong with anything from Pepper Tree. And so looking forward to my parents coming this weekend.
It's the same. Like, you could just, I wonder how many times you said that over the last, 6-7 months on this show. My parents are coming. Guess where we're going? Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Going to be eating high on the hog this weekend. So you can be doing that too. So go check them out there on East Glen in Auburn. Go check out Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine, and you can check them out in Montgomery at Pepper Tree. So, all right, going back to what you were saying before we went to the last break, there was a question about a true backup quarterback. Has Coach Freeze and Derek Nix made a decision, and Ken Austin made a decision on who that is, and he hasn't really made a call on that yet.
No, he hasn't. And what he said today was that Ashton Daniels has a ton of experience with +1 runs at quarterback and obviously throwing the football. He put up some really, really good numbers rushing-wise in a good league, and you have to look at that differently. He doesn't want to throw Deuce Knight out there and call quarterback runs. Not that he can't do it, but, again, he's a freshman.
Right.
You look at certain roles or certain situations, and I think there's two different deals going on. If I need somebody to go in and throw a vertical route, Deuce may be the better option there. So I think everything is situational there. And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just two really good guys behind Jackson Arnold. I mean, it's the best quarterback room I think we've had.
I was going to say, I think it's a really positive thing to have two options that you feel secure in. And it wasn't a way that he said it with doubt of, well, if Jackson Arnold is out for the count, we're done. It was absolutely not like that. It was more so of, hey, these guys are both really good in different ways. Deuce, you know, he's a little bit younger, growing, learning. He hasn't had the experience or growing pains in the college league. And so that makes it a different situation, like he said, that he wants to throw him in. And so I think it's great that you've got two different guys that you can rely on in two different things.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ever have enough good quarterbacks. And I know that's a challenge for a lot of teams right now in the current layout of college football, because if you feel like you're good enough to start somewhere, you're not going to sit behind somebody too long. And I know everybody's on the edge of their seat going, you know, what's going to end up being the decision of Deuce Knight? Will he stay at Auburn? Will he be willing to wait his turn? Or, you know, again, you just have to let things play out. And I know that we had a podcast several months ago right out of spring, and you and I talked about this. I said, you can't worry about what's going to happen in 8-9 months. You got to worry about getting ready to play right now. And then when you get to that point, you'll worry about that situation then. There is no planning 2 and 3 years out anymore. I mean, you can, but with the portal and everything, there's a lot of people coming and going. And until there's some type of regulation on that in the current state that we're in, it's going to stay that way. So, yeah, I mean, everybody wants to see Deuce Knight. We all want to see Deuce Knight be the future, but we also want to see Jackson Arnold come out and be the best version of himself and lead Auburn to a playoff berth this year. I mean, that would be outstanding. And I think he's fully capable of that. And at the end of the season, you know, decisions will have to be made by all parties involved. So can't worry about that in July. You got to worry about that when the time comes. So, but in the meantime, you got two really good guys backing up Jackson Arnold. And not many, you know, teams can say they've got two quality guys waiting in the wings if your starter goes down. So I also thought it was interesting. He was asked about the culture of a program. And I know we already addressed that a little bit earlier, but the culture of a program regarding the transfer portal. And that's got to be a challenge. And, you know, I think that when you're bringing a lot of guys in, and a lot of guys that come in, and it was pretty much referred to, they're not transferring here to sit on the bench. If they're in the transfer portal and you're going out seeking them out, Faith, a la Eric Singleton, Xavier Chaplin, they're not coming here to play behind somebody. So do you feel pressure when you go get a guy in the transfer portal for them to immediately play, or is it a battle for them to win it? I think obviously you want them to earn the spot, but how do you manage that? How do you manage that from a standpoint of a guy being on the roster that felt like he was next man up? Now you go out and get a guy and he hops him and he's in front of him. I mean, it can be a sticky wicket trying to figure all that out, but that's, again, more challenges for coaching staffs to be able to manage all this.
I'm glad I don't have to make any of those decisions because I wouldn't be able to.
You know, and I think Coach Freeze also said, you know, you gotta look at it from a standpoint of, you know, take yourself out, and what a great opportunity is to play college football at a place like Auburn or any of these SEC schools, because there's a lot of people out there that would just relish the opportunity, don't ever get a chance to do that. And he said, you know, to get an education and be blessed by whatever it is agreed upon with other sources, revenue sharing, NIL, whatever it is, you know, what a blessing you have, and don't forfeit that blessing because the mental battles that can come with all that noise. And then he talked about, he said, I told them last night that one of the things I'm convinced of is that we have too many men that spend more time scrolling than they do sleeping. And you and I both know, and we operate and live and work in a electronic technology environment, Faith. I mean, we're on this dang screen majority of the day. I feel like, you know, we just are on here all the time, and then we're researching things and we're making posts, and for everybody that follows us, and it just can get so monotonous sometimes. So I think that's a good point. I want to pause there. We got to take a break. I want your thoughts on that when we come back, because I think your generation, this is what you guys have known. I'm a little bit different. I'm pre this and then worked our way into it. So I can kind of see two sides of the fence. We'll go ahead and take another break. We come back, we'll talk about that and a lot more. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
I'm Joseph Dean with Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation in Dadeville. We're located at 16797 Highway 280, which is on the corner of 280 and 49 North. With an on-site crematory in Opelika and a cemetery in Tallapoosa County, we are a full-service funeral home. To get in touch with us, feel free to come by or call us, 256-750-0381. For any other questions, you can visit the website at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Bugs Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bugs Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bugs Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bugsisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left on the show today. We appreciate all of you joining us each and every day, and our partners, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
Cincy Green for air that's cool and clean. Call on Cincy Green.
Getting through the press conference, going to wrap that up and then talk a little bit about what we saw yesterday afternoon on the field, some things that stood out to us. Just your thoughts on where we left off. I think he's right. You know, when you're trying to get into bed and trying to, wind down and, get some good rest, because if you're an athlete, that's very important that you get rest, that you're not laying in the bed scrolling on your phone till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Then you got to get up and get to the complex for treatment and workouts and all that kind of stuff. Didn't really expect him to go down that rabbit hole, but I thought it was a good point.
I think it's a great point. I think, being in a generation, I guess, that scrolling is a big controversial topic that a lot of people go back and forth on, and how these things are either good or bad.
Right.
I think what you're looking at has such a big impact on what it is that your mental state kind of goes to. So, I mean, if you're going and you're looking, I'm sure for a lot of these guys, if you're going and looking at your DMs and it's a lot of angry Auburn fans, especially during the season, the last couple of seasons, I'm sure that's really detrimental to your mental health, or it can be motivational. Again, it depends on how you go and you look at it. And so I don't think, being on your phone and scrolling, it can be one of the biggest wastes of time, especially when you go and you look at, okay, if you scroll on your phone for 2 hours a day and then you start calculating all those things up and you find out that you're spending 43 years or something on your phone if you live your full life expectancy, 85 years old or whatever, that really shocked me. And to know that these guys are expected to go out there and win a lot and have a lot riding on them.
Right.
Staying on your phone is just not something that's going to get you there, because again, they've got a lot of really great opportunities that has brought them to college and, financial benefits and everything. So it's good to know that he kind of sees that, because I'm sure there's plenty of those guys that just don't know how to put it down, and it affects them in a mental state where they can really get in their head.
Do you ever look at your weekly report on your phone that talks about your screen time? It's eye-opening. It really is. Yeah. It'll make you go like, can I
feel like yours has to be 15 or something.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's
16?
up there. Yeah, and in that range, maybe even more.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it is like, because you see it plenty, on a daily basis, and it's just so much going on. And, it's different, I think, when you got multiple things going on with your job versus are you just spending idle time, because I see people that just get in a habit of just scrolling, and they'll just spend, and you'll look up and you've spent 15 minutes
scrolling,
just going through, because it's just never ending. Your timeline can just keep going and going and going and going and going, and you just basically have to get exhausted before you put it down. So thought that was an interesting point to bring up. And then finally, on expectations, I think one of the things that he talked about, striving to meet expectations, he said, we have a team that has a chance to be really exciting to watch. Particularly, they can get a win or two under their belt and even grow the confidence that they have right now. So right now they have a pretty good swagger about them. Hopefully we can grow that throughout camp. and the success we have, but really we need to go get a W, and then we really need to be confident. And my God, how many times have you and I talked about nobody needs the season to start more than Auburn, and nobody needs to get that first game under their belt than Auburn, and nobody needs a win probably more than Auburn. And it's going to be a tough task. I mean, you're going to play a good team, a team that won their last 5 regular season games and lost a close game in a bowl game to LSU, and returns their starting quarterback and both of their running backs and a lot of their offense, and tried to revamp their defense, which was a problem last year through the transfer portal. So it's not going to be easy. And I think he's right, though. Right now, everybody's 0-0. We do have a great roster. We do have a lot of reason to be excited, but all that can go down the tubes on August the 29th if we don't go out to Baylor and take care of business.
Yeah, I think, I don't even know how many more times we can keep saying it. Got to take care of business. It all starts with the very first game and getting through that game before you can really start looking too far into the season. We were talking about what we're going to break down and how we're going to do things. And you can't do that until you have the first game out of the way, and you can then see all your other upcoming games and the teams. And to know that we've had our first day of fall camp, it just tells me that we are one step closer, and now we can finally have some more to give and more to offer and everyone.
I literally thought you were going insane yesterday. I thought, you were like, I am so glad that we're going to practice, because I can't keep
pulling things out of my hat box of what are we going to talk about next. And you've done a great job coming up with a lot of things, but I tell you what, I have lost my mind reading the same things over and over. And
just what we haven't talked about in a few days is NIL. So,
but bringing it up is telling me. I
just sent you in a panic attack again.
Yes, it did.
But we're not going to talk about it. I just said it's been a few days, and we're going to try. Now that we got practice, we don't have to talk about it anymore, unless something monumental comes down.
July or August 1st, something.
Oh God, yeah. Well, yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah. So much for that. We've got a little bit of a piece. I don't think there's going to be anything monumental to August 1st to that. I don't. All right, we're up against our final break on the show. Stay tuned. One final segment coming up right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Buying a home or property can be the biggest investment of your life. The Wisdom Firm is licensed to close any property purchase in the entire state of Alabama. The offices on both Bank Creek Drive in Auburn and Highway 49 South at beautiful Lake Martin. The Wisdom Firm has you covered. Give Travis and his team a call at 334-826-0722 or check them out at www.auburnlegal.com for all your real estate closing needs. No representation is made that the quality of legal services is greater than the quality of legal services made by other attorneys.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go. Conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Banner Building Summer Sale is happening right now. No money down, no payments for 90 days, plus 12 months with zero interest now through August 31st on all portable wood and aluminum sheds, carports, garages, and barns built on site or delivered during the summer sales event happening right now at Banner Buildings, 4011 Warm Springs Road in Columbus, or online at bannerbuildingsga.com. Better buildings, better prices, Banner Buildings of Columbus.
At Central Alabama Community College, we provide a quality education that will set you up for success. Whether you're pursuing a degree or advancing your career with technical training, CAC offers premier programs at 4 campuses in Alexander City, Childersburg, Prattville, and Talladega. From industrial, electronics to machining, our students are prepared for the workforce or further education. At CAC, you'll enjoy vibrant campus life, exciting athletics, and personalized support, all at an affordable price. Your future starts here at CAC. Apply today.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the show today. Again, appreciate all of you that join us each and every day, whether it be on the podcast at 8 o'clock in the morning or whether it be right here on our show at noon. Go out there and find us on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that. Hit the like button. It helps us out tremendously. I won't have to send Faith to your house to beat you up if you will just hit the like button. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. So anyway, we saw a little bit of practice yesterday. What stood out to you first? I'll let you go first. What stood out to you?
You know, there were a lot of things really, but I want to say the energy we got from Malcolm Simmons really stood out to me, and known him to be a positive kid with positive radiant energy around him, and with everything that's going on, there was absolutely nothing dimming his light yesterday, and especially with the growth that he's had in just his skill and in his game. And it was great to see that he looks like he's in a positive headspace.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he's doing just fine mentally. I don't know if that doesn't mean he is, but it was good to see him dancing and putting in the work and just having a smile, laughing
Right.
with his teammates.
And I think we mentioned it earlier, but his hearing is moved up to the 8th instead of the 13th. So that you can read into that whatever you want. I think that's positive. I mean, with it being moved up. Also think it was positive what Coach Free said with the university really running that investigation and finding out that they were going to allow him to continue to be on the team. So, all right. So some things that I saw when you and I spent some time down there with the offensive line, big dudes, just a lot of dadgum big dudes, like the biggest offensive line I think we've seen in quite some time. And, you know, you look at Broderick Scholl put on 23 pounds. Ty Buster put on 25 pounds. You know, Xavier Chaplin, he added 10 more. It's like, good God. Like you
I
already
told
weighed.
you this today. I said when we were talking about how big some of them were, just because they walked right in front of us. I said, it's not even that they are pudgy; they are just full on steel muscle that is walking right in front of us because. I said to Bryce,
I know what you're about to say.
I was like, how are they doing this? They put on weight so fast, but it's not pudgy weight. It is literally muscle.
And then when Too Tall walked by, I said, yeah, well, there's Too Tall. And you went, which one? They're all too tall. I mean, they're massive, like 6'5", 6'7".
I had a class with Too Tall last year, and he definitely has gotten just so much thicker and jacked since. And I cannot get over just how they were literally walls of steel. And I hope that's what they are on the offensive line.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about some of those defensive tackles and defensive ends right there, Faith. I mean, look at the significant weight gain of those guys.
Keldrick Falk put on 15 pounds, and to no surprise, he is, again, just a ball.
He looks like an NFL defensive end.
He is going to be so good this year if we can keep him healthy this season because he has so much potential in the way he looks. Him and JJ, honestly, looking at him and JJ together for the longest time, I was not this day, but
back in the spring.
Yeah, back in the spring, I was like, wow, they really look similar. And even in summer, and then now Keldrick is just really thickened up in the most muscular way. And Antonio Coleman put on 9 pounds. Just a lot.
Jared Smith, that's
he
15. Needed it. He needed that 15. I think he still needs maybe 15 more. But he's a long, lanky. I thought he had a really good spring, and but kind of got pushed around a little bit because he was at 240, 245, and now he's up to 260, 265. So that significant weight increase there for him.
You got Dallas Walker, the fourth.
Massive.
He's on 37 pounds.
And he's up over 360 as a defensive tackle there. Quintrell Jameson Travis is up to 322. He put on 17. So, hey, look, some of these freshmen that you talked about, like Antonio Coleman. What about Eric Winters back there at safety? That's a big dude.
Yeah, 219 now, put on 10 pounds. I know we're talking about defense, but somebody that stood out on the offensive side today.
I know you're about to say
Damari Alston.
And he did. Yep.
That dude is, he's a little bit on that smaller side.
Yeah.
He's always been described as just a bowling ball or a tank. This dude put on 9 pounds. He's
muscle.
214 and he's like 5'8".
Yeah, he is definitely he looked different, and I'll tell you who else looked different was Darrell Robinson. Man, I was impressed with Darrell Robinson. And I kind of had a mindset of, he's a bigger, more physical back, and he is bigger, but he's lean, man, and he's fast. Like watching him running some drills, and he was actually supposed to be limited, but wasn't very limited. Just a couple more. Jackson Arnold put on 8 pounds. I thought that was needed. He's up to almost 220 at quarterback. And then, some other guys, some other freshmen, Bryce Kane last year, of course, Alvin Henderson this year, he's up over 200 pounds now. He put on 8 pounds. So there's some of your increases.
I was just going to say one of the big weight loss transformations that we saw. I said Tate Johnson looked so good today, and he's leaned out. He's he looks like a tight end.
Well, that's where he's going to be. So
yeah, I mean, we
yeah.
talked about the frames of the tight ends and how they all look really similar, and
right.
He's lost 15 pounds, and
may lose some more through camp.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. So, all right, Faith, that's going to wrap us up for this Thursday edition. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us each and every day, and look forward to being back with you tomorrow morning for another edition of our Auburn Blitz podcast. We will be on location tomorrow for the noon show. So we will be down in the Stillwaters area, and we'll let everybody know on the podcast tomorrow exactly where that will be. So we're looking forward to that, and as excited as we always are to be able to be in that area with Eric McKinley and all the stuff he's got going on. Again, thank you so much for watching. And again, hope all of you have
the best day ever.
And we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.